Hello, welcome back. This time I'm going to introduce the data provider concept and let's look at what the data provider is first. So the data provider is used to supply data to our methods in very plain words. This is our TestNG XML in which I am executing two classes that I have created. First is the data provider main class and the second one is the data provider 2 class. Let's have a look at these two classes. What does the data provider main class do? I have a method get data from provider which returns a 2D object array. Now this is what a data provider does. It always returns a 2D object array, and here I have annotated this particular method as @data provider, and I have given the data provider a name called data provider. Here you can see a method mname. What is this method mname? Now here I am making use of reflection from Java. This will fetch the method name that is currently getting invoked. So if you look below, here I am creating a 2D object array with 3 is the row and 2 is the column, and then I am making use of here you can make it as null. So here I am going to make it as null first, and then I am checking the condition. If mname.getName dot equal ignore case equal to sample1. What is sample1? If you go below, you will see that sample1 is this particular method that is making use of this data provider. How it makes use of the data provider is by keeping data provider is equal to data provider. You give the name of the data provider here over here after the @test annotation, and then the data provider will supply the parameters, the data from this data provider, which is here. Okay, so that is what is getting done over here. So if mname.getName equal ignore case equal to sample1, if the TestNG XML is fetching sample1 for us, then we have this one. Here we have the key1 value 1 and key2 value 2. So it will fetch these values and it will print our set statements. So it will print argument 1 in sample1, and then it will print the value of the first parameter, and then it will print the value of the second parameter. Similarly, I have put the second condition over here. If mname.getName equal ignore case equal to sample2, then what needs to be done? So here I am putting the values of key 3 and value 3. Now this sample2, you might be wondering where this sample2 is. This sample2 is in a different class, data provider 2 class. Here I have created the data provider 2 class. I have given the data provider in the test @test annotation, and here I am mentioning the data provider class name. This you have to give whenever you are executing a test case outside the class which declares the data provider. Okay, so this is how you do a data provider. Now let's run this and see what results we get. We right click on the TestNG XML. Let's have a look at the TestNG XML first. Okay, we have both the classes. Now I right click over here. I run as TestNG suite. See, you got the values. Argument 1 in sample1 key 1, argument 2 in sample 2 is value 1. So sorry, this is a typo. Argument 2 in sample1 it should be, so it is value 1, sample1 value 1, sample1 key 1 value 1, key 2 value 2, key 3 value 3. So where is this key 3 value 3 coming from? It is coming from the second class. If you have a look over here, this is where the value 2 is coming from, value 3 is coming from. So the way you declare it outside the class in which our data provider is mentioned is by giving the class name, the full class name in the @test annotation. And here I have declared a 2D object array for the data provider. The way you declare a data provider is by giving the @data provider annotation. And how do you use it in your test is by giving the data provider is equal to and the name of the data provider in the @test annotation. So this is how you use data provider annotations in your test. Thank you.